Welcome back to today's lesson on English, and we are once again looking at the Pied Piper. Our learning objective is adding detail, so it's expanding our key events into a narrative, into a story. So you should have something that looks like this from your work in yesterday's lesson. So I've chosen my title to be The Curse of Hamlin, and you should have 6 pictures in those boxes, and then you should have 6 sentences providing an overview of each key event of your story. So in my case, by Curse of Hamlin, the Pied Piper is a celebrity with people travelling from far and wide to hear his music. The mayor becomes jealous and arranges for the piper's flute to be stolen. With the flute gone, Hamlin becomes increasingly miserable and dark, with rats once again being spotted. So, realising that the flute is the key to restoring Hamlin, the piper and the children set off to find the flute deep in the mountains. They encounter landslides, snowstorms, and a bear, and it makes retrieving the flute nearly impossible. However, they manage to bait the bear away long enough to grab the flute and calm it to sleep with music. The piper rids Hamlin of darkness and rats, and the mayor is in prison. So that's how my story is going to end. So the 6 key events. What we're going to look at today then is how we expand those events into a proper written descriptive piece of work. So adding detail. So once we have the basis of a story, details and description have to be added to make it interesting and meaningful rather than just a list of key events. There's nothing worse than a story that reads and then, at which point then you're snoring and you're half asleep. So you need to include details in order to grab the reader's attention, okay? And this is where all the grammar that we've done beforehand and all the different sentence types that we've done beforehand become really essential, okay? So we've been building up to this now for quite a while. So my initial key event, my first key event is the Pied Piper is a celebrity with people travelling from far and wide to hear his music, okay? So first of all, I want to add a fronted adverbial to this. I want to make it into a complex sentence. So I've added, deep in the heart of Prussia, comma, the town of Hamlin had long forgotten the horrors of the rats and had slowly yet fairly forgiven the Pied Piper for luring the children away. The Pied Piper was now a celebrity with people travelling from far and wide to hear his music. So I've added a bit of extra information. Now, first of all, Prussia is an old German kingdom, okay? As Hamlin is set in Germany, I've decided that Hamlin is going to be in Prussia. It's in the modern day state of Lower Saxony, but Lower Saxony, before Germany existed as a country, was in the kingdom of Prussia. That's why I've chosen Prussia. So I've got my fronted adverbial in there. But I've also added a bit of information here about Hamlin, okay? So the town of Hamlin had long forgotten about the horrors of the rats and had slowly yet fairly forgiven the Pied Piper, because the Pied Piper was not an angel. He did something that was really quite bad. Notice here that I've got a double ly word there, so I've got a double ly sentence, and I'm using the word yet as a boys sentence to join those together. So I've currently ticked off 3 sentence types: fronted adverbial, double ly, and I've used the boys, okay? So next, continue to add detail. Well, I need to expand my noun phrases now. So I'm going to use 2A sentences. That's adjective, comma, adjective, noun in order to do that. So if you look here, deep in the heart of Prussia, the town of Hamlin had long forgotten the horrors of the rats and had slowly yet fairly forgiven the Pied Piper for luring the children away, or luring away the children. The Pied Piper was now a celebrity with people travelling from far and wide to hear his music. So I'm going to find my nouns. So nouns are things, they're places. And what I'm going to do then is add my adjective, comma, adjective to those nouns to create an expanded noun phrase. So I've now got, deep in the heart of Prussia, the sleepy, comma, prosperous town of Hamlin had long forgotten the horrors of the dirty, comma, black rats and had slowly yet fairly forgiven the Pied Piper for luring the children away. The Pied Piper was now a celebrity with people travelling from far and wide to hear his music. So thus far in our checklist, we've included a fronted adverbial, we've got 2A sentences, we've got double ly, and we've got boys. So we've now got 4 sentence types. I could also add on to this that we are correctly punctuating it as we are going along. So now I want to include a noun, which, who, where sentence, okay? So the easiest for me, it's either going to be Hamlin, that I'm going to have to put a which there, or it's going to be the Pied Piper, in which case it's going to be a who, because it's a person. So I've chosen the Pied Piper. So it goes like this. Deep in the heart of Prussia, the sleepy, prosperous town of Hamlin had long forgotten the horrors of the dirty black rats and had slowly yet fairly forgiven the Pied Piper for luring the children away. Oh, sorry, luring away the children. The Pied Piper, comma, who was now famous, comma, was often visited by people from far and wide, travelling to hear his captivating hypnotic musical flute. So my noun which you wear sentence is this: the Pied Piper, comma, who was now famous, comma, was often visited by people, etc. Notice that the embedded clause is who was now famous. That's the extra piece of information with commas on both sides. I've also added captivating, comma, hypnotic musical flute. So I've expanded flute into an expanded noun phrase using a 2A sentence. So in our checklist, we've now used fronted adverbial, 2A stroke expanded noun phrase, double ly, boys, and a noun which you wear. So we've got 5 different sentence types in there already, and we're only on the first paragraph. So let's compare. So what I've got here is my initial key event of this story. So that's the Pied Piper is a celebrity with people travelling from far and wide to hear his music. What I've ended up with after adding all those sentence types to it is something that's got a bit more meat to it, something that's far more meaningful and gives the reader more information to play with when they're making their mind movie. So it goes, the Pied Piper is a celebrity with people travelling from far and wide to hear his music. So that becomes, deep in the heart of Prussia, the sleepy, prosperous town of Hamelin had long forgotten the horrors of the dirty black rats and had slowly yet fairly forgiven the Pied Piper for luring away the children. The Pied Piper, who is now famous, was often visited by people from far and wide, travelling to hear his captivating hypnotic musical flute. As you can see, there's a lot more to it. It sounds an awful, awful lot better. The use of grammar that we've covered in previous lessons is all in there. Now, we don't have to get every sentence type into every paragraph. In actual fact, please don't, because it will become quite difficult to read. But make sure that you've got 2 or 3 different sentence types in each paragraph as you're going along. Mix them up. Look at your sentence type posters to help you with that process. So the next bit is to remember paragraphing. And I know that we did a lesson on that. I think it was in the first pack that went home. So I do need you guys, it could have been the second pack. It was to do with rivers. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You've done a lesson on paragraphing. Please make sure then that we apply that skill when we're writing. So remember, when we're paragraphing, we start a new line and then we indent the text. So notice here that after I finished with his captivating hypnotic musical flute, I then started a new paragraph because I'm introducing the mayor. Because I've introduced a new character into my story, I have to start a new paragraph, new line and indent. So it reads, deep in the heart of Prussia, the sleepy, prosperous town of Hamelin had long forgotten the horrors of the dirty black rats and had slowly yet fairly forgiven the Pied Piper for luring away the children. The Pied Piper, who is now famous, was often visited by people from far and wide, travelling to hear his captivating hypnotic musical flute. The mayor becomes jealous and arranges for the piper's flute to be stolen. Now, notice that doesn't seem to make complete sense. And the reason for that is that in my drafting process here, I've simply put the second event. What I will need to do now is to begin the process of expanding this second key event. So the mayor becomes jealous and arranges for the piper's flute to be stolen. Okay, so I need to go through the same process that we've just done with the first section and now do the same with this. So we build it up section by section as we're going through. Make sure you're constantly rereading your work because what we're looking for is cohesion. And what that means is it flows. It's a flow of the story. Because if you just simply write a paragraph and then write a paragraph and then write a paragraph, you might find the stories a bit stop-start. So look at your different types of conjunctions to join that together. Look at time conjunctions in particular, okay? So it might be after a few months, comma, the mayor started to become jealous, full stop. That would be a conjunction used to develop the cohesion of your writing as you're working your way through, okay? So your task, you've just been given 2 sheets, double-sided, of lined paper. Now, the reason for this is for you to draft your key events using the Alan Peat guidance posters and conjunction sheet and fronted adverbial guide. Now, this is not about being neat and tidy. It's obviously helpful if you can read your writing, but what this is about playing around with your different sentence types and content until you're happy with the outcome. This is almost like using those pieces of paper, a bit like your jot task. You're not too bothered about what it looks like, it's how it reads. It's have you got the features in there that you need? Is it punctuated correctly, okay? We'll worry about the tidiness of it and the presentation of it and your handwriting in the final lesson that comes in this sequence. Make sure you try to use powerful vocabulary to check your punctuation. So you've got these posters again. We've been through these before. Please make sure that you use them. Don't try and get loads of these in a single sentence, but try and get 2 or 3 of these in each paragraph, and then it should flow quite well. So again, remember, there's nothing stopping you using year 5 ones if you wish to do so, but concentrate primarily on stages 1, 2, 3, and 4. But only use them where they fit and where they work. Good luck. See you later.